Hello all, my name is Krishnayak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, as from many of your requests, now I'm going to start Julia programming language, and along with that we'll try to see how we can perform machine learning. We'll try to implement various machine learning algorithms with the help of Julia programming language. Again guys, this is a complete separate playlist, and yes, there will be many videos that we'll be uploading. This particular playlist is important because I have been exploring Julia programming language from past 3 to 4 months. Now it's a time that I always say you, right? We always need to think with one step ahead, right? Considering the future. And probably I think that yes, after 3 to 4 years, I feel Julia programming language will be one very important programming language itself. But at the speed at which it is growing, by that, I think in the upcoming years, we'll probably be using Julia programming language for machine learning and deep learning. Why? Because again, it has some amazing packages. Still, the community is growing. Many people were asking me, Krish, will you upload tutorials on Julia programming language? So yes, I'm going to start. In this video, this is just an introduction of Julia programming language. In the upcoming videos, we'll start with the installation of Julia programming language. We'll try to install a package which is called as iJulia in Notebook, and we'll see that how we can actually perform coding with the help of Julia, how we can perform visualization, like how we learned Python, right? There we had different kind of data structures, variables, arrays, data frames, NumPy arrays, right? Similarly, in Julia also we can do all those things. So we'll try to learn. If you are new to this video, please do subscribe the channel. Press the bell notification icon so that you don't miss any videos that I actually upload, right? So considering this, in this video, we'll just understand about Julia programming language, even though I had given a small brief introduction about Julia programming language in my previous session. And I've also told you that how it is actually good when compared to Python programming language. So here we'll go a little bit deep diving into more important information regarding Julia programming language itself. Now, considering this, what are the main features of Julia programming language? First of all, Julia in a nutshell. See, you can find out all this description in this URL, that is julialang.org. This is the official website. The recent version of Julia programming language is version 1.5.2, and I will try to teach you in this particular version. I'll try to show you how you can install it completely from scratch itself. Now, coming to some of the properties of Julia programming language and why it is good, why it is actually considered that for the future, it will be very, very handy for machine learning and deep learning techniques, because it is fast, right? Now, I've already made so many videos in my previous video. I've made the differences between Python and Julia, right? Now, Julia is actually fast when compared to Python programming language or R programming language. And here you can see that Julia was designed from the beginning for high performance, right? Which is actually required to implement various fast application nowadays. Julia program compiled to efficient native code for multiple platform via LLVM. Now, first of all, when I say high performance, that basically means if I click on this, guys, we'll be getting something called as Julia micro benchmarks. Now, this Julia micro benchmarks is basically the benchmark of Julia programming language with respect to other programming language, right? And as we all know, right, if I see this graph, over here you can see programming language like C, Julia, LuaJIT, Rust, Go, Photon, Java, JavaScript, MATLAB, Mathematica. I don't know what is this language. I guess I've never seen that. I've heard about MATLAB. I've also implemented some of the techniques of MATLAB. You can see Python, right? Python is at this particular position. Then you have R, then you have Octave, right? Now, if I consider with respect to this, the speed of Julia is just after C, right? When the benchmark was done. Now, benchmark was done based on various things. Let me just zoom in, right? What was the benchmark actually done on? Iteration Python. Okay, so probably iteration code was actually written with millions of elements, right? And some type of operation was done. Then the second operation of benchmark was done on matrix multiplication. Third one was done on matrix statistics, some statistical operation. Parse integers, print to file, recursion Fibonacci, recursion quicksort, user functions Mandelbrot. Okay, I am not sure about this green one what it is, but remaining all I think we have heard of it, right? Now, considering this, you can see, right, now this C is basically giving us a speed of this blue color is basically for iteration Python. It is somewhere here. For Julia also it is almost same. In case of user function Mandelbrot, it is giving us very less time. This is the time of execution, guys. This y-axis is basically the time of execution. Uh, and then if I see recursion Fibonacci, it is somewhere here, right? So this is the colors, this same color we are seeing over here. Then we have this purple color print to file. Again, the speed is very good, right? Now, Julia is definitely giving us a better performance when compared to the other programming language. Other programming languages are just in the list, and recently I made a video of competitors of Python, right? There I had mentioned Julia, Go, right? Golang. So this Go programming language is also very good. And again, people are exploring it. This was actually, Go was actually, it actually came up from Google itself. Google developed this programming language and now many people are actually using, right? Then you have Rust. Then you have Fortran. Now, if I take an example of Python, just see this. Matrix multiplication is taking this much time, okay? And probably over here, it is somewhere around 10 raised to 0. And see, matrix multiplication probably here will be with respect to a huge matrix itself, right? So here you can see that this particular time is taking this much. In case of this purple, that is print to file, it is taking somewhere this much. And here you can see that till 10 raised to 2, right? 100 seconds. Probably I think this is in form of seconds itself, right? So much time when compared to the other programming language. Now, if you see the example of our programming language, obviously here you'll be able to see the benchmark. It is worse than Python also, right? Now, just imagine if we have a programming language like Python, but if we add that, the speed comparison with respect to execution, if we make it a little bit faster, that is actually possible by Julia, right? Python, we know that it will actually help us to create some amazing applications. Let it be web application, desktop application, for deployment purpose, for various things. But the only concern is with respect to performance. Now, if we try to apply some good performance, in short, we can actually use Julia programming language, right? So this is based on the performance. Here you can see that it is important to note that the benchmark codes are not written for absolute maximal performance. The fastest code to compute recursion Fibonacci 20 is the constant literal 6765. Instead, the benchmarks are written to test the performance of identical algorithms and code patterns implemented in this language, right? So all this particular information has been given to you over here so that you will be able to understand all these things. So definitely this looks like Julia is a very handy programming language, and probably in the future it will be very good, right? If you take Octave, somewhere here 10 to the power of 4, this orange color is basically recursion Fibonacci. It is taking this much time, right? So this is an amazing thing to see and definitely promising, I'll tell you, because now I'll show you in Julia programming language you also have a lot of packages. Right now it is more than 3,500, I guess, okay? And it is an open source, so definitely this is going to grow. And I feel very happy because see, always we need to think about one step ahead. Yes, now if we use this, and now if I'm using Python, I can actually see the difference, right? With respect to speed, with respect to training your model and everything, right? In case of response time, right? I'm actually seeing that, right? So Julia is a dynamically typed, again, this is one more property, just like a scripting language. Python is also a scripting language, so it is covering that feature also. Reproducible environments. So every time, guys, if you feel confused with respect to any terms, just click on that. You'll be going to that specific page and you can read about that, right? It is pretty much important. Don't worry about this programming, how to do. I'll teach you step by step. Okay, I've been following this from past 3 to 4 months, so I've got a lot of hands-on experience now since I'm exploring this now, and I will try to upload all the videos in order. It will be pretty much amazing. We'll try to go with respect to each and everything, like how we learned Python, right? Then you also have properties like composable, general. It provides asynchronous IO, metaprogramming, debugging, logging, profiling, package manager, and you can build an entire application of microservices in Julia, right? And this is what we are actually looking at, because Python also we are able to do that. On top of Python properties, we are just trying to add some good properties of high performance, So, and Julia is an open source with over 1,000 contributors, and probably it is made under MIT license. The source code is this. So guys, the source code over here is available over here for the Julia programming language. You can, if you go with respect to the history, I think Julia had come somewhere around 2012, and till 2019, I guess this recent version had actually come. 2020, I guess this recent version has been come, and it is actually doing very good. there are some issues, there are some bugs which people are actually fixing with respect to different machine learning algorithms. But yes, till now I feel that Julia is actually doing an amazing job, Julia programming language, and I think the number of contributors to this is also increasing. It's increasing a lot. Okay, now here we can see that 4.2 case fork has actually happened. If you compare with Python, definitely there's no such difference as such, but again, due to its good properties, it will develop in the future. Okay, now coming to this, you can also try Julia in the browser. So here it is. Here only you can directly write the code and check it out, and it's almost similar, guys, like how we do Python coding. It is pretty much simple and pretty much easy with respect to that. Okay, now coming to the most important thing that we actually look at, right, when we try to compare with Python programming language, what all things we look at it, right? So first of all, we have visualization. With respect to visualization, with respect to data visualization and plotting, we have a lot of libraries in Python, we know that. Similarly, in Julia also, you have a lot of plotting softwares or libraries. You can say one of the example is plots.jl, is a visualization interface and toolset. It provides a common API across backends like gr.jl, pyplot.jl, plotly.js.jl. See, guys, these are all things I think you have heard in when you are working with Python programming language in sklearn, right? All those kind of libraries are also available over here. Only the type of extension will be different because it needs to be compatible with the Julia programming language, right? So user who prefer a more grammar of graphic styles API might like the pure Julia gadfly.jl plotting package. So here you have some interactive way of doing data visualization, which will be pretty much amazing. Again, all these examples I'll show you practically when I'm actually implementing many things, and it will be really fun. Okay, now coming for the general purpose, what all general purpose programming language, because Python is also useful for general purpose programming language, right? You can actually create APIs, you can actually create an application, you can deploy that application in the server, and many more things. Similarly, in Julia also, you'll be able to write UI, statistically compile your code, and even deploy it on web server. It also has a PowerShell like capabilities for managing other process, right? Julia has a foreign function interface for C, Fortran, C++, Python, R, Java, and many other programming language. It can also be embedded in other programming language through embedded APIs, so which is pretty much important. Specifically, Python programs can call Julia using PyJulia. See, this also you have an option. Python through the Python programs also you can call Julia by using PyJulia. So we will see. Don't worry. Right now I'm just trying to show you some of the basic feature. With respect to data science, again, it has amazing libraries. It has libraries with respect to machine learning, with respect to deep learning. If I talk about data science over here, you have this data frames, like how we have data frames in Python. Similarly, we have data frames in Julia also, and it also has the database drivers, which will actually help you to connect to various databases like JDBC drivers, ODBC drivers. If you don't know about JDBC, ODBC, guys, just Google search it. ODBC is basically for Oracle, and just JDBC is usually basically used with Java applications and all. It also actually helps you to integrate with Hadoop ecosystem using spark.jl library, hdfs.jl library, hive.jl library. So we'll also try to see and how comfortable it will be. We'll try have a look onto it. Coming to the machine learning part, it provides us powerful tools like flux.jl, net.jl for doing deep learning and machine learning techniques. You'll be able to see that Julia mathematical syntax makes it an ideal way to express algorithm just as they are written in the papers. Build trainable models with automatic differentiation, GPU acceleration, support for terabytes of data with Julia DB. Now, I had implemented some of the deep learning and machine learning techniques, guys. The amazing graph that we see, like how it is present in TensorBoard, right? Similarly here, we'll also be able to see we'll be able to create some amazing graphs with respect to training the model and all, and we'll be also able to see all the other performance metrics, right? The other things is with respect to scientific domain. So this was one example, right? This kind of graphs you'll be easily able to see how the differential equation is basically getting performed and many more things, right? Julia also offers a number of domain-specific ecosystems, such as in BioJulia. For biology, you have BioJulia. Operation research, you have Julia Opt. Image processing, you have Julia Images, like how we have OpenCV. Quantum physics, like Quantum BFS, and many more things. Again, guys, it's just not, if I just keep on reading this, it will just not be sufficient. There are many things, and we will be learning each step by step. And finally, with respect to the parallel computing, it incorporates itself with it supports multi-thread programming and all, okay, along with distributed computing. And recently, this was a video of JuliaCon 2020. I'd suggest just go with this and have a look what all are the important things that we are going to see over here. Now, in the upcoming video, we will download this version 1.5.2 and we'll try to install it in the Julia in the notebook, Jupyter notebook, and then we'll also start doing programming. So I hope you like this video. This is just a basic understanding about Julia. Apart from that, guys, you can also see documentation page. You have blogs page, right? With respect to blogs also, and it has a huge community. See, with respect to blog, it keeps on gets updating daily, you know. So a lot of blogs are actually there, and yes, many people will put. You also have a community. So anywhere you are stuck in some kind of problems, I would suggest you join this community group of Julia and try to post questions of your own. With respect to research, a lot of research are actually happening. All the publication will be put up over here, which you can actually directly see, right? Modern machine learning with Julia and Flux. So all these things you'll be able to see all the research papers. So I hope you like this video. I'll see you all in the next video. In the next video, we'll be doing the installation of Julia, and we'll try to install the package in Jupyter Notebook, and then we'll start the coding practices. I hope. Please do subscribe the channel, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you and all. Bye-bye.